Good morning, everybody. A foggy morning here in Southern California. Actually, even down there in Ensenada. I've already talked to some of the local fishermen down that way, and they've got a lot of fog in Ensenada this morning, but we've got some great fishing to talk to you all about. Of course, we're going to talk about long range. Wow! Yellowfin tuna, yellowtail, big bluefin tuna, even some wahoo. We'll get into all of that. And there's still some local yellowtail biting showing up in Ensenada, also down there off La Jolla, and some fish around the Coronado Islands. Of course, we're going to talk about surf fishing, and we'll talk about the islands, and of course, we'll even check out and see what's going on in terms of our rockfish bite, because it's been outstanding with a couple of great opportunities to fish with Friedman Adventures on December 20th and 27th. All right, I'm going to check this water for you. Yeah, it's a little chilly. Yeah, it's pretty chilly. Hey, I'll get busy now and get set up. There's some pretty big waves rolling in here. I'll get set up, and coming at you next is, of course, the morning briefing. Good job there, Dan. Nice going, Rob. All right, we just hung one here. One coming up and over. Nice big fish. Hey, yeah. What are you fishing, Sean?
100 pounds.
Beautiful yellow. Nice. Way to go, buddy. Nice big yellow. Check it out. Gorgeous fish. After a long night of yellowtail fishing, a gorgeous sunrise here this morning on board the Independence. You can't help but feel blessed looking at it. One could argue that this is the best bluefin tuna fishing of the year here in December for the long-range fleet out of San Diego. This morning on the morning briefing, we reported on incredible fishing on the American Anglers. They had 20 fish over 200 pounds. Incredible bluefin tuna fishing. And now word from the Royal Polaris. What a night they had last night with fish in the 150 to 290 pound class. Many of those fish were 180 to the low 200 pound class. The big one, that 290 pounder, caught by John Collins. Darren Dohe from 310 Rodworks is on board this very special trip, and he says it's phenomenal. And when he gets back, we are going to have a Friedman Adventures podcast with Darren Dohe about this magnificent trip. Incredible bluefin tuna fishing. Big fish, it's on.
Second gap.
Beautiful. Good job. Nice fish, Scott. Nice, Scott. Beautiful job, buddy. Full speed here, yellowfin. It's insane on the deck of the Independence. You're checking it out. Insane fishing going on here. Beautiful. Nice, Jeff. Way to go. Ah, beautiful. Nice going, Cisco.
Thank you, man.
Nice, boys. Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, boom. Jesse.
Hey, heads up, guys. I'm going to come this way. Heads up.
Get him, Pat. Get him. Oh.
Yes, baby.
Woo. And look at that. Oh, with the rocks there. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful, foggy Surfside, California. It is not all that cold down here this morning. It's another beautiful day, but that fog is a dangerous element if you go out on the water, so be extra careful today. And the fog seems to extend from well below the Mexican-American border. I've already talked to some local guys in Ensenada this morning, to all the way up to the Channel Islands. Heavy fog right now. Hopefully, it's all going to burn off. We've got really excellent fishing. It's December. We're rolling up on Christmas. That's all really hard to believe how fast this year has gone by. But given that it's Christmas and we have such great fishing, we are truly blessed here in Southern California and northern Baja and other parts of the world, wherever you are. and we are coming to you here this morning. Big bluefin, yellowfin tuna, a little bit more wahoo. There's been some local halibut taken. We're seeing local yellowtail and so much more. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. It is so good. And it's so great to be with you all. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos with a friend, tick that little bell, you'll be notified when there's new content, and subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. You can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and also Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Always great to see you on those venues. Absolutely stoked with the support we're getting from you. Millions of views every single month now. And I owe that all to you, and I will never, ever forget that. Don't forget, we're also continuing our Christmas drive. If you have some used clothing that you'd like to send down to Mexico, we're still accepting that. We're shipping down lots of used fishing equipment. And if you had a gift for a child that was wrapped, a new gift, that would be a beautiful thing. You can contact me at 657-227-6459. Just send me a text. We'll make arrangements on how we can get together. But a wrapped up gift would be beautiful. We'll take it down to one of the orphanages or another family in need. There's always a lot of need on the other side of the border with our brothers and sisters there. And if you could help us, we would deeply appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. How about we start out in Ensenada, since we'll be heading down there and handing out some clothing here in January for the Epiphany, or Dia de Reyes as it is known in Mexico. Boy, I'll tell you, there's some pretty good yellowtail action starting to take loose. The first female sport fishing captain, Ihara Nunez, she had not only some nice lings and rockfish yesterday, but she had some yellowtail. The yellows are wandering around inside the bay. You got to find those things. And in these foggy conditions, that is not going to be easy. But she had a great day yesterday, sharing that with us. 40 to 50 pound throw on a surface iron is a great way to get the job done. And you have to scour and find those fish. That's why we hope this all burns off, because a lot of that kind of fishing is eyeball fishing or visual fishing, where you have to find those fish. Now, right now, our dear friend Louis Prieto. Good morning, Louis. He's out with his daughter and a couple of other friends, and they're navigating their way out in some heavy fog down there in Ensenada. It's for real sport fishing, however, has a radar on board, so it's going to facilitate them getting out and finding some yellowtail. He'll keep us in touch with all the latest. So one thing you can bank on down there 70 miles below the Mexican-American border is great rockfish right now. Great rockfish is a given. And now you've got some yellowtail. Yo-yo iron, also super effective. They'll meter that fish. It's deep. You want a heavier jig that you can get down to the fish with. And then, as always, for yellowtail, wind on it fast. And when you get bit, you don't set the hook by rearing back on the rod. You set the hook by turning the handle of the reel. Lucky Sport Fishing is where you'll find Capitan Ihara Nunez, the first female captain in Ensenada. And you can find our dear friend, of course, Louis. He does a great job at It's For Real Sport Fishing down there in Ensenada. If you're looking for a place to stay, by the way, I'm telling you, Zeke Casas has this gorgeous place 15 minutes from the landings down there in the Malecon area or downtown Ensenada. Give Zeke a call if you'd like to experience that beautiful view and be a million miles away from it all. But at the same time, you're only 15 minutes from some good yellow action going on. So good fishing down there. Long range fishing, can it get any better than it is right now? So many options, so much great fishing. That's not to say that the boys looking for that giant yellowfin tuna down there on the lower banks connected here the last few days, because they did not. The XL had one big, beautiful yellowfin tuna, and they're still looking, so it's a possibility to see more and more of that fish. But we've had a little sprinkling of wahoo here recently. The XL had a couple of nice who. We've had excellent yellowtail fishing going on down there. We've had really good yellowfin tuna fishing going on down there. And of course, wow, that bluefin tuna bite Can it get any better than it is right now with some exceptional nighttime fishing going on superior grade bluefin tuna? Fishing those heavier knife jigs at night. I'm telling you, I don't think color matters. I don't think any of that really matters. It's getting to the fish and getting to the zone, and that's what's going to get you bit. So you're paying really special attention to the captain. You're fishing 100-pound spectra with 200-pound bite leaders, and that's how you are going to get a bite. The Polaris Supreme, wrapping up a 10-day trip, perhaps says it best, and this is indicative of what's going on for several of the boats. 10-day trip, they had yellowfin tuna, yellowtail, they had a little bit of wahoo. They finished up last night with 41 bluefin tuna. Those fish in the 150 to 245 pound range. Wow, can it get any better than that? All these boys have been getting in on it. The Independence. Of course, we just had our 8-day trip with them and got a sample of this kind of fishing. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you think you died and went to heaven as an angler when you get into some of this long-range fishing right now. So outstanding long-range fishing. Hopefully that is going to continue. In terms of Tanner and Cortez Bank, we keep our eyes on it. It's about 85 miles from where I stand, out there past Catalina and then past San Clemente Island. And out there we've seen a little bit of bluefin tuna. Might get a little more of that here this weekend. Some rockfish to go along with it, which has been spectacular. And some pretty darn good yellowtail action going on out there. There's been fly line yellowtail, there's been yo-yo iron yellowtail, there's been dropper loop yellowtail. Be prepared for all of that and more. Really great fishing going on. Considering that it's December, you know, and I say that in case you're coming from some other part of the world and you're wondering, why does he keep saying that? Because in the wintertime, we normally don't get that kind of surface activity. I mean, those kinds of fish, like yellowtail, like tuna, and that kind of stuff. But here lately in Southern California, it seems like things have changed, and we do get these kind of bites, and we might ride this right past the new year and go right into 25 on a bang here with these fish biting. So great stuff indeed. All right, let's talk about islands. Coronado Islands, we see some yellows down there, yo-yo iron, surface iron, fly line, dropper loop yellowtail. All that mix is in there right now. See some fish up there at North Island. We've seen fish down at South. We've seen them on South Cal Bridge, right on down to the rock pile. There's been quite a bit, and there's been even more fish around La Jolla. I know I'm not supposed to come to the coast quite yet, but that's where the San Diego out of Seaforth sport fishing, the new Seaforth, couple boats that have been focused on that, and a lot of private boaters that I've been talking to have been finding some superior grade yellowtail, really big, nice forkies, zooming around there, biting the yo-yo iron, biting the surface iron at times, fly line bait, and even a dropper loop bite at times. Those guys are sonaring around, finding that yellowtail and getting on it in a hurry, and it has been pretty darn good fishing, no question about that. Hey, if your garage door and your garage door is giving you problems, call Joe Welker. Joe is your garage door man. He'll take care of that. Tim Marquez is a great guy. He is the tax man. He'll take care of all your tax problems and get you a good night's sleep for a change. And if you're looking for somebody who's an expert at heating and or air conditioning, it's John Lopez from Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. John, I could use a little bit of heat down here this morning. All right, let's talk about the islands now. We'll start you as we did at the Coronado Islands. Now, let's talk about what's going on at San Clemente Island. Good rockfish. Catalina Island, big old rockfish as we continue to fish in 300 feet of water or better. When you get into that 600 feet of water, 100 fathoms, a fathom is 6 feet. That's when you start to see some really beautiful quality, big vermilions, great rock fishing for huge boccaccio. It's been really spectacular, excellent stuff going on. And if you want to go to Catalina Island, the El Patron is making trips this weekend out of Long Beach Sport Fishing. Get on the El Patron by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Up there in the Channel Islands, we continue to see really big links and excellent rock fishing. It's been phenomenal. The Island Spirit will be running this weekend out of Ventura Sport Fishing, and you're going to want to get on board. Kids fish free on Sunday. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's always a good time. And those rockfish that you take home during the holiday season, whether you're going to make a ceviche or fish tacos or some other delectable dish, man, there's no better eating fish than those rockfish. Island Spirit, you can get on board by going to www.venturasportfishing.com or by dialing 805-676-3474. Don't forget, we have 2 trips coming up. They're starting to fill up. December the 20th is a Friday. We're going deep, weather permitting. You want to have 16 to 24 ounce, I prefer 24 ounce, torpedo sinkers for that December 27th trip. Also, same thing. So the 20th and the 27th, we'll see you on board the Island Spirit. That's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to do that up there in Santa Barbara, Monterey, Burgess and Morro Bay, Avila Beach. Some really excellent rock fishing going on up there in that neck of the woods. San Francisco, same kind of a thing. We had that big earthquake up there in Northern California, 7.0 yesterday. Possible tsunami warning was canceled, so it seems like everything is back to normal now up there in that neck of the woods. Thoughts and prayers with anybody who was affected adversely by that pretty big earthquake. Yeah, pretty big. 7.0 is a big one. So again, thoughts and prayers with everybody up there in that neck of the woods. Taking a look at 1/2 and 3/4 day boats up and down the Southern California coast. We've seen some outstanding fishing for rockfish. That's really the name of the game right now. You can pick a bass here and there, and even a halibut. We've seen a little bit of halibut by private boaters down around Dana Point and surrounding areas here in the Huntington Beach area. There's been a few halibut. You get that late fall kind of halibut bite as we're on the verge of winter here really, really soon. But for the most part, rockfish up and down the coast. The Victory yesterday with a bunch of whitefish. So some guys stay shallow and fish that sheephead and whitefish, and they've been doing quite well. Great trip on the Amigo. Their first lobster trip, and they had 50 legal lobster on board the Amigo at a 22nd Street landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. Mark Paisano Jr. putting the wood to the langosta. And man, you talk about good eating, talk about getting your money's worth. Those things are like 50 bucks a pound. The last time I checked here in Southern California. So those local lobster are hard to come by because most of it gets shipped overseas to China. And so this is a great opportunity. And the Amigo is starting to run more and more of those lobster trips. Happy to see that going on. So some good local lobster fishing for sure. Don't forget, my friends, there is still some good surf fishing action going on. Water temperatures are cooling down, so that means barred perch. We are seeing some smaller barred perch down there around the Huntington Beach Pier, also by the tower where you walk out, and the Jack in the Box. Pacific Coast Highway, Anderson Street, and Warner. Both those 2 areas have been good on the barred perch. Just walk out and fish a grub, or a bigger bait will sometimes produce the bigger barred perch. Hopefully we'll get a run of that big stuff here pretty darn soon. And don't forget, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California, right there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They're giving away a free custom surf fishing rod every single month. You just need to walk in there, get your bait, mention Friedman Adventures, get your 10% off your bait and some other items in the store, and get your rulers so you can participate in the monthly giveaway every single month. How can it get any better? One-time purchase. Buy the ruler, you're in. You're in January, February, March, April. You're in. That's all you got to do. And they'll tune you up on all the rules. All right, my friends, I don't know what to tell you. There's a lot going on. This big fish, that bluefin is so impressive. Had fish up to 300 pounds almost here recently. Someone's going to come up with a 300-plus pound BFT here really, really soon. We'll be watching that. We'll be watching Ensenada today as Ihara is out and also Louie is out. They're scouring around Todos Santos Island, actually inside of there, right inside of the bay, for more yellowtail today. And of course, we'll continue to monitor and watch everything else for you. If you can put together a wrap toy or something really, really nice for a kid in Mexico, that would be nice. Let me know. Just send me a text at 657-227-6459. and we'll make sure we get it down there. Again, working with Diego Nuno from the Royal Star and several other really great people in tackle stores. We are getting all kinds of tackle together, clothing together, medical supplies. We've got a lot right now. And then we're going to ask you for some help to help us pay for the shipping, because that gets really expensive. And we're going to have to get this all down there by Dia de Reyes. So that's coming up in January. Have a great day, a wonderful morning. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.